Today, we are going to learn about how to use graphic organizers to organize information.
What are different ways to organize information? Calendars help us organize information by days, months, and weeks. Grocery lists help us organize the foods we need by meats, meals, and snacks. Menus help restaurants organize the foods they serve by drinks, meals, and desserts.
How do graphic organizers help us? They help us to brainstorm ideas. They help us to identify relationships between ideas. They help us to put ideas into categories.
Now we are going to look through diagram. Web diagrams have a lot of benefits. First, it is helpful to organize information. Second, it is easy to see the relationship between the concepts. Third, it will help us find more information about what you want to know.
When making a web diagram, the main idea goes in the middle. The supporting ideas go in the circles around the main idea. In this web diagram, the main idea is, why do students go to school? The supporting ideas are to learn important information, to learn to become an important member of a community, to help them decide on a career, and to form social relationships.
Let's think about how we can use a web diagram to talk about community. When you want to know about the community, you can use web diagram like this. Let's put the community in the center, and then develop your ideas, adding more concepts. What is a community? Community can be any groups which have similar values and interests.
Here are some examples of different communities: Little Italy, Chinatown, and a farm community. All communities have different groups of people. In your community, you might see your fellow policeman, your friendly butcher, the mailman, your grandma, and a group of children. In your community, you will find different places and businesses. All communities have homes such as an igloo, a cottage, and an apartment building. You may also find a local hospital or a doctor's office. Most communities also have somewhere where you can find food, such as a supermarket or a grocery store. We also cannot forget the post office where people send letters and packages. Finally, in rural communities, a lot of the businesses come from farms, such as vegetable farms. In your community, you might find different places to eat, such as Chipotle, Smash Burger, or a diner. All communities have different places where people do leisure activities or where they go to hang out, such as the park, which is a common place where children usually play, a campsite, which is a perfect place for families to hang out, or go fishing, which is another good family activity. Now that we have talked about different aspects of a community, let's organize the information we just learned into a graphic organizer. First, the community goes in the center because that is the main idea we are discussing. Next, we need our supporting details. We talked about how a community is made up of different people, so that can go in your first bubble. We also talked about how communities are made up of different places and businesses, so that can go in another bubble. We also talked about how communities have different places where you can go eat, so that can go into the third bubble. Finally, we talked about how communities typically have different places for leisure activity, so that can go in your final bubble. You have now created a web diagram to organize information about a community.